Good morning, starshine.
Welcome to the real world. Whoa! Mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with breathe air. There's no second best, okay?
GM. Trade of the day, Monday, 14th of October. Let's go. So, I want to look at altcoins as I think we are probably going to see a rotation where some of the leaders and laggers switch. So, WIF looks like it's set to start moving. It's moved up into its previous resistance. This whole phase here is essentially like a box, a consolidation. It's consolidating towards the top corner of it. Keep in mind then that the breakout from this is either going to be let's say a larger move that ends up holding, or it's going to fall back down and have to go for one more sweep. First breakout probably you would normally assume it to fail. So the first attempt to break out, say WIF has a breakout there to 330 or whatever, you'd expect that to attract a lot of breakout buyers, and then it stalls and drops back and has to flush back inside and then goes again later. That would be my guess, but I do think that capital is going to rotate over to these memes next. Probably at the expense of some of the GigaChad, I think is close to a local top. Consolidating here as if it's potentially going to build before another move. Whether that will be a final massive blow off top push, or if it will just sort of stall out here. Chud pulling back. This is now a false breakout, pretty much confirmed. That will put it into the area where now you're looking at, sure, definitely can bounce, but with a strong move up where it's moved up almost vertically, just straight up, and then take out the highs and then rejects, is quite likely going to have to come back down and go again later on, if it is going to go. Sigma, just beat it to Giga. Again, none of these things have really, I don't think they've topped for the cycle, but I think they'll probably be underperformers next, as other stuff like Movement, for example, if that's able to make it above this breakout level here, it probably can run. So the next move you might see on some of these would be like that, and then maybe it pulls back into a higher low. But that next little pump that happens on many of them, I think it will be at the expense of some of this other stuff that's already gone pretty parabolic. Pepe, another one. Pepe is going through this lengthier consolidation. With the size of positions that need to be built, and the consensus view for Pepe, and the fact that something like Pepe or WIF, they're coins that, more liquid, like liquid VC or liquid venture funds, some of them are trying to go and trade memes now, because obviously traditional VC, you're supposed to invest in projects that you think have good, teams and technology and blah blah blah, but a lot of them now are like pivoting over to memes. The problem with that is it's going to take a lot longer for the accumulation process to happen, because there's so much consensus about something like Pepe that probably it moves quite easily towards these highs and then has to drop back again, and then just takes longer to get into that next breakout territory. I would guess that it probably goes beyond highs, and then so it probably makes a move beyond the highs and then back below some lows. There'll probably be some gaps left behind there. Take them out, and then the next time it goes is likely the main time. I think BTC's main move is probably going to come in December, currently my thoughts. So I think a lot of these coins are going to be not lagging, but leading up until then. Apu, you can see the full Apu chart here. It did this wick obviously on the trading view chart is inaccurate. Apu did take out liquidity at this level. After a very strong run and breaking out of that downwards diagonal. And very strong move. Doesn't seem like there's much signs of it slowing yet. I would imagine that the first proper sell-off probably gets bought and propels it to new highs. This may well just be in its actual blow-off phase where you've had the move up. This really looks like a first leg for Apu. Because it broke so far past its downtrend line, it seems like it's probably got a good chance of trending further. I do expect it to, top out after that, but I think probably it can run to all-time high from here. I would say all-time high run is not out of the possibilities at all. And also want to look at some of these. Where are we? Sui. I think Sui is probably going to be done soon. And the original, like when I mentioned back at the lows, when a lot of these were near the lows, and they started to move up, I said that all-time high is going to be the target for many of these coins and no more, because there's massive VCs, lockups, insiders of tokens. If they manage to manipulate it high enough to actually get it to this price of all-time high, so much selling can happen now. They're just going to sell, and they can sell all the way down. And every bounce, people want to buy the dip, and they can just sell more and sell more and sell more. And I think it's set to be a big underperformer. Maybe not right away. Right? These type of things where you think, oh, that's where it's going to be, and that's where it's going to like top out. It doesn't have to go like that. It can be an underperformer in the sense that it can just go higher and chop. And you can see this very messy chart, and it is eventually just done. But it has big pushes even within that. I think a couple that did something like this. Lido had this very similar chart a few times when Lido was all the rage. So if you look at Sui and then the second wave, Lido looks very similar to that. And then Lido did it again a third time earlier this year. And it doesn't just drop straight down. Like it doesn't just sell off straight away. It keeps pushing and grinding and hanging around there and forming sort of a slower, longer term topping pattern. This is January until March. This took 3 months to top out. January to March was like the biggest move in the market. That was when Bitcoin went all-time high. That was when memes started to explode. So between January and March, Lido, which was previously one of the best performers, really underperformed. So if that sounds familiar, I think that could be like the Sui sort of path, maybe, right, that you're looking at next, where there's no real reason why it would why it would outperform. Nobody actually buys this shit. It's just VCs, and if they run out of the market itself, basically gets more bullish. Something like this can just run out of momentum. And if you see a few good months and you see Sui not making new highs and everything else is, that's the kind of rotation I'm talking about. And really, Sui is the only altcoin outside of memes that's really captured any attention, right? Like that's significantly higher. Certainly, it's the only one that hit all-time high, and so that would be the one I'd be looking at to probably fade. As for the rest of altcoin land, many of them are just trying to semi recover and build some kind of structure. They're still a long way from any sustained trends, and I think that they won't have. I think probably a lot of these, like the Ondos and stuff, will do not much, and then they'll just explode all of a sudden, which probably is a top signal for whatever next rally we have in a few months' time. A lot of this stuff is gonna just pop off last, and when it does, it's probably late. And that is it. GM. So all kind of rotations, name of the game, I think. We'll see how that goes. GM.